Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking the grand theory of a thinker named Reace Freeman. And let me tell you, it's a huge set of ideas that weaves together consciousness, biology, and technology in a way that, well, it might just completely change how you see yourself.
All right, so let's start with a really provocative idea, one that's at the very heart of this whole framework. What if your body isn't you? What if it's just a technology that you use? Think about that for a second. This isn't just about being more than our bodies. No, this is suggesting the body isn't us at all. It's a tool.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. Think of it like an hourglass. We're going to start broad at the top, with the big ideas about the self. Then we'll narrow it down to the nitty-gritty of intelligence. And finally, we'll zoom back out to see how all this stuff actually connects to our lives and the values we hold.
So let's start our journey at the top of that hourglass. We're going to begin with the biggest, most foundational concept of all, the nature of the self. What are we, really, when you strip away everything else?
So Freeman's answer to that question is this concept he calls the timeless self. And the idea here is pretty mind-bending. Your core identity, the real you, it's not your body. It's not even your memories. It's this independent, eternal consciousness that just exists and observes, totally outside the physical world and the way we experience time.
And this quote really drives the point home, right? The physical body is viewed as a biological vehicle or suit. So it completely reframes our relationship with our bodies. It's not you. It's a tool you're using, kind of like a car you use for travel. It's just a temporary, super advanced biological suit that lets your consciousness get out there and interact with the material world.
Okay, so if the body is a vehicle, what kind of machine are we talking about here? This next part takes us into a really radical rethinking of what biology itself even is. So, according to this framework, biology isn't just some random process. It's a technology with 3 brilliant design features. First, the body is an interface. It's a high-tech gadget, your non-physical self designed to let you experience things like matter, space, and time. Second, time itself is a filter. The body is the tool that makes you step into time and experience it in a straight line. Outside of the body, time might not even exist, or at least not in a way we can understand. And third, biology is all about automation. Think about it. Your heartbeat, your breathing, it all just runs in the background so your consciousness can focus on the big stuff, like learning and exploring. It's a pretty elegant design, really.
All right, now we're reaching the narrowest part of our hourglass. We've talked about the self as a timeless consciousness and the body as its high-tech vehicle. So now let's get super specific and look at the nature of intelligence itself.
Okay, first up, there's what's called Organic Intellect, or OI for short. And this is the intelligence we all know and live with every single day. It's the intrinsic intelligence that comes from life itself. It's that messy, emotional, creative, and conscious symphony that gives us that subjective feeling of being here.
And then you've got the other side of the coin, Digital Intellect, or DI. This is the intelligence that we've built. It's all about logic, algorithms, and the raw, incredible computational power of machines. Think problem-solving, data manipulation. It's fast, it's efficient, and it operates in a totally different way.
So when you put them side by side, the key difference is just so clear. Organic Intellect, OI, it evolved over billions of years. Digital Intellect, DI, was engineered by us. One is all about subjective, conscious, emotional experience. It's about being. The other is algorithmic, logical, and computational. It's all about doing. So they're not just a little different. They are fundamentally different kinds of intelligence.
Okay, so as we start to widen our view again, moving out from the narrowest part of the hourglass, we have to ask a pretty obvious question. What happens when these two totally different forms of intellect start to meet and fuse together?
Well, concepts like sense-link give us a really tangible way to think about this. So imagine a wearable haptic interface, a piece of tech that can translate physical data directly into your sense of touch. Think about the applications. A search and rescue worker could literally feel for survivors under rubble. A soldier could get silent tactile alerts. It could even be used in medicine for non-invasive diagnostics. It's a bridge, right? It allows our organic, intuitive intellect to understand the vast amounts of data that digital intellect can process. It's pretty amazing stuff.
And that brings us down to the base of our hourglass. And really, the big so what of it all. Why does any of this grand theory of a timeless self, biology as tech, and these two different intellects, why does it actually matter in our day-to-day lives? Well, the answer lies in our values.
Freeman argues that when our actions just don't line up with our core values, things like trust, honesty, self-respect, we create this deep psychological conflict within ourselves, and he uses a pretty powerful term for this, a figurative death of the soul.
And this isn't some literal, supernatural idea. It's a powerful metaphor for what happens when we live with that value dissonance. It leads to what he calls a walking dead existence, basically a psychological hell on earth. It's that state where regret and disconnection and unresolved guilt just color your whole experience. It's what happens when you betray your own moral code and become disconnected from yourself and from everyone else.
And that leaves us with one last massive question that ties everything together. As we continue to merge our organic intellect with this powerful digital intellect we're building, are we building ourselves a cage, or are we building a launch pad? The whole argument is that if we want to create a future that's a launch pad, one full of purpose and genuine connection, then the entire architecture we're building must be grounded in these core human values. Otherwise, we might just be building a very sophisticated cage.